Welcome to Frank's retirement home on this Saturday afternoon. I guess it is just noon. To my left, right, and above me is Dickon on the chair too, and then we have Lunar on the camera. We have a match day in the Walkers division between the Cyberpunk Otters and the Mystic Sea Serpents. How you doing this fine afternoon, Mr. Deacon?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited to see this. It should be a pretty good matchup. It's first matchup of the season, so see which teams can get off to a good start here for a nice little early afternoon start to your day. Come have fun with the retirement home.
Walker division, so meta's not really the most important thing here, but we do see some bands come out. Chernobog, Achilles, Athena. Are you surprised by any of these top three, Deacon?
No, not at all. Even if meta may not be the most important thing, global ultimates are still annoying, maybe even more so at levels like this. And Achilles just usually a strong all-around band no matter what.
That's an interesting band. I haven't seen that band in a while. Ao Kwong has been taken out of the hands of at least I don't know Mia.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see the Ao Kwong, but maybe I personally don't know. I don't know Mia, but maybe it's right in their wheelhouse, and they're just making sure it's never a problem.
Osiris also taking out Pressure Bot. But interestingly enough, if you ban one Pressure Bot, the other one still exists as Bologna still on the board. Now, me personally, I think the most busted solo in the game is Vimana, but I know particularly people love this Bologna pick if they were to go for super aggressive here. But Donzaburo being first picked here, Deacon, can you maybe elaborate on that?
I'm a little surprised to see it first pick. Not surprised to see it. I have been seeing it a lot lately. He's pretty good with some of the new builds over there and everything, and he does bring a lot of utility with his taunt and his ult in the team fight. So I'm not surprised to see him just a little earlier than I expected.
Raw being hovered here, and I'm about to throw the book out of typical draft strategy. Raw gonna be picked here. Very high skill mage in a let's just be honest, it's Frank's retirement walker home. How important is it gonna be to for this Raw to hit his stuff and execute with his team?
It's going to be very important. I mean, he's Raw. If you're hitting your snipes, you're probably having a really good game. If you're not, you're probably not. But doesn't mean it has to be all him. With the remaining 3 picks, since they locked in that Hachi next to him, I'd really like to see them try to get some nice, easy setup to make his job easier.
I was about to say, finally, a normal pick. Hachiman, considered to be the best hunter in the game right now. Gonna get picked here third with an Ares hover. What makes Hachiman so good here, Deacon?
I mean, what doesn't make Hachi good? He can use any build ever. He's all the items feel good on Hachi. He's nice and safe with his ult. He's good at all phases of the game. He's just Hachi.
All right, so that means he's pulled out the Gauntlet of Thieves and rocking it, right? I'm joking. Ares, though, gonna be locked in here. Ares is, I think, is a low-key ranked demon right now. What does Ares bring to the table that other supports may not, Deacon?
Just a very aggressive style that really helps facilitate and set up for your team. Yeah, I said it's important for Mystic Sea Serpents to get some easy setup for Raw. Well, Ares can provide that as long as there's good pressure on Bede. So I would like to see either solo or jungle that really puts individual pressure on Bede so that Ares can just swoop in after they're done and set everything up for his team.
Not to mention that the Ares build going Gauntlet Mystical Mail is absolutely demolishing people right now because Mystical Mail counts as an aura, so it's passive procs. But Bologna gonna be picked here for the Otters. Bologna, I love Bologna. What do you love about Bologna, Deacon?
I mean, she's just fun. Fun to play, not fun to play against, and that makes her really strong. She's a dominant lane bully over there in solo. Not many people can manage to actually go toe-to-toe with her. And then come late-game team fights, she has her team fight ult, but she has that disarm and those block stacks that can just make a hunter's life miserable.
So I do like this top 3 from the Otters so far. Maybe a little bit rough on the CC department. Maybe Donzaburo can make up a bit for that, but that's always been the issue with picking Ares is the fact that your support just does not have super hard CC, as we see a tier locked in here.
Yeah, definitely a strong top three from the Otters. Not that the Sea Serpents isn't strong, it's just a little irregular, mainly with that raw pick so early. But if it, if in 20 minutes we could be sitting here eating our words if he's hitting every snipe.
Well, I'm not going to eat my words in this. I would never thought the day with how many good soul laners there are that I'm picking tier in the air. It's going to be a rough matchup for him quite a bit as we get into the bans here. Thoth, Cuckoo going to be banned. Surprised that neither one was kind of picked up in this top three here, Deacon.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see neither of them picked up, especially if you're going to pick a mage early and they're both available. Why not grab them? Admittedly, a little surprised to see two mage bans from Cyberpunk when Raw has already
Run
been
Raws,
picked
man.
up.
Yeah, that's a. I wonder where they think this Raw is then, because tier's going to be in the solo lane. Unless we think it's Raw solo, tier jungle, or tier support, then I don't know what to tell you. It's one of those draft strategies that kind of confound me a little bit, Deacon.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to assume that Raw's going mid, but I guess we'll find out. But does seem like we're having a little bit of a technical issue. We're gonna go ahead, be right back in a moment or so, guys.
back to Frank Retirement Walker Division. As we get into the game here, we didn't get much chance to talk about the rest of these drafts due to technical issues. Deacon, which draft do you favor and why? Go.
I mean, now that we actually get to see the entire team on display, I have to give the edge just a little bit to Cyberpunk Otters, mostly because Ares, if he hits his chains, just makes so many people on Mystic Sea Serpents miserable that it's so hard to deal with sometimes. Slight edge, but gotta give it to Otters.
I have to agree. This is a very, very good Ares game, and not to mention that the Susanoo doesn't have a big time disruption. I mean, Kuzenbo can ult him, but not really the greatest as we see in this duo lane. Ares already showing the value, stopping the Kuzenbo dash mid wave.
I expect to be seeing interactions like that all game long, especially here early as they want to try to get the pressure as Kuzenbo getting kind of
Tiny Giant taking a lot of poke, gonna get chained and flamed down here, may be able to get demolished, but unfortunately not enough damage. But Tiny needs to be a bit more careful under this Ares.
Yeah, that's the thing. Ares does a lot of damage early game level 2. I mean, he hits you with his chains, he hits you with his flames, and you lose 60% of your health. You have to be wary of it.
Yeah, I've just recently played this matchup. It's not the greatest for Kuzenbo right off the rip. You kind of have to save. It also makes you go beads unless you want to use the ult to peel yourself out all the time, which you don't want to do as Kuzenbo. Interesting to see enough this Kuzenbo opted to go the shell route instead. Deacon.
Yeah, maybe he picks up the bead's second item, or maybe he's just content to just be like, I have a CC Moon ult. If he hits ult, I hit ult, and we just trade.
Hate to cut you off, Deacon, but we're about to see a solo kill. Dip spit for Loom has been taken out by Small Face. Bologna pressure just Barry Toppers? Rat is inbound in his left lane there. May look to make something happen. He's going to be by himself, so not a great matchup for the Rat. Going to try to out-secure. Going to get chain off the mark. And shield buff does go the way of the Cyberpunk Otters, but Kuzenbo has now solo dashed in. This Mystic Sea Serpent team, a little bit out of sorts, reliability-wise, but Tiny Giant taking a lot of his health damage. Going to be able to walk out here, however. And an interesting series of events there, Deacon.
Yeah, lots happening all over the map. I'm not even sure where berry toppings fell, but we had First Blood over in solo, which Bologna, not too surprising to see her pick up the First Blood. And then with the Ratatosker rotation, Mystic Sea Serpents had the numbers, but they didn't use them, as we see Tyr getting rotated on again.
Tyr going to get rotated on again. Not really... Needs to be careful here. He's going to get out-pressured by the Bologna and killed due to the gank, but... That's 2 deaths early on the side of the Mystic Sea Serpents for their solo laner.
Definitely a rough start there.
Quite a bit rough here, and as a tier, you don't really want to start out 0-2, especially into a Bologna, as this blue buff gonna come in for an invade. Rat's gonna try to contest it, but this could be a very rough contest. Tyr is inbound coming in, does get pulled in by the Susanoo. Nut Blaster does hit, does not confirm, but the Fearless will confirm the unblue. And Dip spit for Loop, maybe a little bit of solace now in this lane.
It definitely feels good to at least get your blue buff there, but that was a sketchy situation. Bologna was the only one who had ult and chose not to use it. I think that could have gone a little differently if she uses the ult there.
All right, let's get into some builds now. Particularly, I want to talk about some shards. We see a bunch of different shards here, but there's one in particular I do want to point out here, Mr. Deacon. Can we get the thought process behind the Kuzenbo Hasten shard?
It's an interesting choice. Oh, we see Danza ride the rocket.
Pulling two. Dawn's a barrel rocket. Gonna hit Kappa, but the Kappa shoves Ares under tower. Gonna take a tower shot. Almost a huge play from this duo lane, but not enough to get the kill.
Not quite enough there. As we see, they were trying to take advantage of Savashine's beads being down for another 20 seconds, and they did it, just didn't quite have the damage. But that's a combo that, if they take advantage of beads being down, will result in guaranteed deaths later on, as we see Rat rotating in.
Ratatasker rotating in here, needs to be careful. Misses the stun, does confirm the shield, but Donzaburo going to be in trouble. Kuzenbo going to be used. Beads expired by the Donzaburo to walk out here. Kuzenbo going to shove the Ares back. Not enough communication by these Sea Serpents, though. Ares is just going to be able to walk out. stun off the mark. Smallface saw his dip spit for lube, and that's a little bit of a drop kill there from the Mystic Sea Serpents.
Yeah, they just have to communicate a little better. They were, like you said, they were out of sorts, a little too spread out. Focus one target, get the kill, and then do the next thing. Don't try to do everything at once. And definitely unfortunate to see Smallface pick up another kill over on the solo lane at the same time as we see Rat in the air.
Going to be used way out of range, however. Going to have to use it just for distance. Stun off the mark does pop the Donzaburo 3, but Ares Change will successfully get them both out. Another little bit of a misplay from the Mystic Sea Serpents.
A little bit, just a little unfortunate. You got to know the full range.
We see Raw gets shoved in here. Gonna take all of his health bar. May just get soloed by the Susanoo as we look at the pillar. Raw expended, almost killing the Susanoo, but Barry Toppings does claim X-Lord Poseidon's life there.
Yeah, very close. Nice hit on the Raw ult there, but Barry was just had enough health to get in, get the job done, and get out, which is, I mean, what Susanoo does about as good as anybody.
Ares does confirm the Scepter, and I was about to say level 6 Ares versus level 6 Rat. I'm taking the Ares about 9 times out of 10, Deegan.
Absolutely in that regard.
At this point... No. Oh, okay, he lives. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if Bologna would ult him there.
I'm a little surprised to not see it. If I was in Smallface's position there, I'm seeing red. I have no fear if I'm in Smallface's position right now, but he probably just wants to keep his head and make sure he doesn't overstep his boundaries.
Little bit of a quirk to the build here for the tier. I haven't seen this in a bit. Breastplate of Regrowth, what does that do here, Deacon?
Well, I mean, it gives him cooldown, which he loves, and then every time he manages to heal himself, he gets a little faster, gets to do the things he likes to do more and better. So it's a great item for him. But like you said, haven't seen Tyr in a while, so haven't really seen it in a while. And going up against this Bologna right now, it's just rough for him. He doesn't have enough clear potential to keep up with what Bologna can do as we see Rat in the air.
Rat through the Cosmic does connect, but it has to be a rough target. Raw does connect, but Ares just too tanky already, eating 2 ults and easily surviving. Will just get the back for free here.
Yeah, at this point, I would really like... This is what I want to see. I want to see Rat farm. Invade, if possible, take it away from them. But go get some farm, get another item or so under your belt, get some levels, because... They did everything right. It just unfortunately didn't have enough oomph behind it, so go get a little more oomph.
Rat gonna be spotted out here. Chain off the mark. Gonna use ult here. Barry Toppings does find Dispute for loop. Rat gonna be quite in a bit of trouble here. Ares gonna do a lot of damage, but so is the Rat as the 1v1 continues. I don't know, Mia gets the kill, but it has 0 resources to get out here, and Barry Toppings finds the Ratatasker in the back there. A 1-for-1.
2-for-1 actually with the action over in solo lane.
I don't count those. They weren't part of the fight.
Fair enough.
At this point, Dipspit for Lube probably needs to camp under his tower or be at risk of becoming a roaming harpy.
Yeah, he's definitely having a rough time. Got to see him try to farm up and just get some more items, but Mia's just overextended a little too long. Getting the red buff, nice. Going for the speed buff, I like it, but stuck around a little too long. Ares was able to find her and did manage to get the kill. But Barry Toppings was hunting.
Yeah, we just see, look, 2 levels down this tier, trying to box this Bologna, just losing half his health for 1 Fearless already. Look at this. The Contagion's not going to help much either, as he can't really heal. Now the slow comes out. Gonna be just boxing this tier. Tier gets Bologna ulted. Will Fearless out, but this should spell the end for tier, as Dipspit for Lube 0-5-0 in 9 minutes here, Deacon.
Just a rough start, and like you said, you have to know at this point in time, you're 2 levels down on tier. You want to be up on tier. You want to be bullying people, but especially into a Bologna, ooh, Raw Snipe comes out just a little off the mark. But especially into a Bologna that's ahead, you can't step up into lane and take those risks and take those fights anymore. You have to farm safely and smartly.
As we see, Ratatasker maybe going to get spotted out by multiple teammates. Donzaburo going to walk back through the Cosmos, overshot a bit. Maybe didn't see the Donzaburo walk through or knew that he's getting rotated on, but important cooldown expended from Mia here.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of once they were in the air, they realized, ooh, I'm not in the best position, and now that I'm up here, I kind of just want to make sure I get down safely. Not the wrong decision, but it is a little unfortunate to see that go on cooldown right now, as we see them all starting to group up and gather here in the left jungle.
Sano gonna be spotted out. Barry Topping is gonna try to get the kill here. Will use the I don't know. Mix needs to survive here. 1 health, nice pluck, but not enough. But the 3 will kill Barry Toppings. But now he has to get out as the raw rotation does come out. Barely gets out so far. Raw snipe off the mark. Barry Toppings does get to live with the Sasana mobility, but Tyr has made a rotation here, already down 3 levels. As we see Donzaburo kill Hachiman in the back of the tower. Ares ult gonna be expended, pulling in 1. Eagles rally, stunning 2. Gonna be a rough fight here for the Tyr. Tyr up down, gonna get taunted in by Donzaburo and die for his trouble. 0-6-0 is this Tyr, and the Otters up 10-1.
Yeah. Fantastic play by Barry Toppings there. He goes in, gets the kill, gets out, puts on a clinic on how to get out of there cleanly somehow. I thought he was dead to rights. But then after that, again, Sea Serpents, probably just a sign of this being first game of the season. It's early. This should improve as it goes on, but communication just needs to be a little better. They have to be on the same page. They were too spread out. If you focus on the one target together, they could have turned that fight around. There were a lot of low health bars.
Yeah, and now though you're down 6k in 11 minutes, Doomsday scenario, but Raw getting caught out by the Sasano. Barry Toppings just ends Poseidon's life, and Mystic Sea Serpents no footing to stand on here.
I've been there before. I've been a mid laner when a Susano walks up at you and you just realize, there's nothing I can do in this situation.
6k to gold in 12 minutes is basically as bad as it can get. So how do you think the Mystic Sea Serpents can come back from this deficit?
It's definitely a rough ask, but it's not impossible. I really think at this point in time they need to group up, and probably 2 separate groups. Anyone traveling alone is at risk of falling and putting themselves further behind, so you always need a buddy, your travel partner, as we see action here in the mid lane.
Yeah, through the Cosmos, going to be expanded along with Kuzenbo, but Kuzenbo kind of solo diving, leaving his Rat behind. Rat barely making it out. Kuzenbo going to use his shove to get out. Should be able to just walk out here. And it's very interesting to see here, Deacon, though, if teams realize this, that beacon, if you cap it and destroy a tower right now, it does not give you golden XP for the towers.
I was not aware of that, so a little unfortunate if you do manage to take down some towers with that, though, as we see Mystic Sea Serpents.
Oh! Huge Rock Knight taking Barry Toppings out of the fight. Gonna be a shove. Chaos do end up getting the beacon, and now a fight breaks out, and meanwhile, Hachiman gets soloed under his tower by the Donzaburo. Ares ult gonna be used here. Gets the Rat in, but chains on cooldown. Not able to chain the Rat. Gonna be able to get his life out of there as Donzaburo takes the T1 and left. Deacon.
That, like you said, fantastic raw ult to start that fight off. You don't get the kill, but you eliminate Susano from the fight at that point in time. It's a lot easier for you. You have the space. They are able to capture the beacon, putting some pressure here up on this tower, as we see Tiny Giant, just kind of doing Kuzenbo.
He's getting body blocked by me. Yeah, that's just one of those supports, just whacking supports things. But we're going to see Sasano actually rotating here. 0 man on this Kuzenbo, but will have enough to shove if he needs it. Gonna be able to just walk out here. But yeah, supports just like whacking other supports. It's just a thing, Deacon.
Well, because they can't whack anybody else because they don't do anything, and not that they do any damage to the supports, but it's all in good fun.
I was about to say, that Kuzenbo is one of those gods who can just solo backliners. Not in this game particularly, because the Donzaburo is about 6 levels up. But could be a rough game for this Sea Serpents, but it looks like the game may slow down. As I say that, Sasana falls onto the Raw. Raw gonna take a lot of damage here, already half health as the ult comes out. Poseidon lives with 1 health. I think Barry Toppings thought he was gonna do enough damage, didn't commit to the kill there.
I think he thought he was going to do enough damage too, and I thought he was going to do enough damage. I thought that was a dead draw for sure, so unfortunate to see the dropped kill, but Lord Poseidon's definitely happy that he got to go back to base quick and not have to wait 20 seconds to leave.
Some good pressure you would think coming from the gank, but actually Smallface is the one who's just 2v1. He needs to be careful, get fearless. Barry Toppings comes out of nowhere, hits him with an RK under the tower, but is going to get fearless, has to expend the beads for his troubles, and now this solo lane gets even worse. Smallface still up 3 levels, Barry Toppings up 2 levels. This could be rough for anyone, but for some reason the tier walked up, needs to be careful, gonna get fearless. Huge play from this dive of the Otters, but did spit for Liv walking up when he had no business to.
Yeah, you just can't step up there. They're both there. You're by yourself, low health. You have to be a little more wary than that and just play safe. Just try to get your own farm under your tower. So we see a potential teleport over here. No, he stepped off.
I have to talk about this. I actually want you to talk about this. What this relic dagger from the tier? What are the good and bad parts about it?
Well, the good part is obviously the passive. 50 seconds off your cooldowns is your relics are up every time you blink with that. Now, what could potentially be bad about it is there's no prots. It's just health. It's a lot of health. 300 health is a good bit, but there's no prots to make that health beefier. And it really depends on what relics you have if you're able to utilize them effectively. I don't love the combo of Relic Dagger and Teleport. Teleport's up pretty frequently as is, and you really don't need it to be up
Fight
more
breaks
often
out
than that.
though, Mr. Deacon, as both ults are gonna be used to try to kill Barry, but Barry able to walk out here. Gold Fury confirmed by the Mystic Sea Serpents, actually. Hold up. Raw Snipe, I believe, stole that. Nice play. So maybe a little bit of pushback from the Sea Serpents. But I actually want to talk about the fight's still going as Tier ults out. TP's in, gonna get hit by a Donza rocket. Ares ult gonna be expended. Smallface does find Dip Spit for Lube. Now Eagle's Rally gonna be found in the back here. Hotchman has to expend beads. Rat in the air through the Cosmos with the ultimate. Is gonna up down here. Gonna look for Donza Burrow most likely. Misses both, unfortunately, but may still get him. Age is gonna be expended. Barry Toppings peeling out the Donza Burrow here, and a nice stopping of the shutdown for the Otters.
Yeah, just really, really thin margins for air there by the Otters. I thought Barry Topping stepped forward a little too much when he was 1v3ing, but he was able to get out of there. But again, I think Mystic Sea Serpents, this issue should work itself out as they play together more as we go into the season. They're just not quite on the same page in these team fights. If they were fighting as a unit, I think a lot of these fights would be going very differently. They'd be a lot more in Sea Serpent's favor. But as you said, they did at least manage to steal that Gold Fury.
Yeah, and it looks like you may have saw Tiny Giant maybe try to go kill the Don's Barrow, then he realized he's 7 levels down on the Donza. So a little bit of a rough matchup there if he wanted to. But like I said, things go from bad to worse here. It's still 6K, about to be about a 7K gold lead for the Otters, and you have a lot of people who are on the verge of just having like about 3 to 4 level leads on the Otters team.
Yeah, the lead is definitely in danger of hitting critical mass at this point. So we see Tier ult in.
Lawbringer gonna be expended here to try to steal the buff, did not get it, so now is gonna be fighting Bologna. Bologna just autoing it out, and we see the clear difference in trade here as Dip Spit for Lube is clearly losing this, has to walk away. Luckily he is playing Tier, so very safe god, but you just can't be fighting the Bologna right now.
No, you can't be fighting Bologna when she's up in lane, and especially with the build he has. They're all items Tier likes, but they're not built to fight a Bologna in lane. They're more built to be effective in grouping.
Be in trouble here. Barry Topping's gonna get raw. Steals another objective with the raw snipe. So 2 objectives to the side of the Mystic Sea Serpents, despite being down 15 kills.
I mean, that's the one thing that Sea Serpents comp has in clear edge in their favor is objective secure. What's going to outconfirm a raw snipe? Nothing
Dawn's
that the
alive.
Otters have. Maybe once he gets the new Deathbringer glyph.
No, that was a joke. Nothing out confused to the raw snipe. But I do want to talk about one of my favorite new mechanics, though. If we look at this Sasanos build, the third item there, can you explain what they changed about Transcendence in year 11?
Yeah, absolutely. They changed a couple of the stacking mechanics as we see a Blinken
As
from
we
Barry
see in
Toppings.
Blinken, Barry Toppings has just been trying to bully X-Lord Poseidon this entire game, but it looks like both get out.
Ooh.
Huge snipe, unfortunately, does not have enough damage. Through the Cosmos, going to be looking for the Sasana here. Going to be off the mark. Dashes in, hits the Nut Blaster Parfait, and a shutdown for the Ratatosker.
Huge for Ratatosker to be the one to pick that kill up. I know Poseidon wanted it himself, but he's managing to... He's actually 2 levels ahead of his opponent. I didn't even realize.
I don't know how, I'm be honest.
Yeah, so he's the anchor that this team is currently trying to build around. So good to get the shutdown, the gold, the experience from that. Make him a little more effective as he tries to dunk down from the sky in these team fights.
Otters looking for this Oni Fury, going to be relatively uncontested. Bologna going to be zoning off multiple members here. It's a quarter health. The wall has been dropped. Oni Fury going to be secured by the Otters, even with the Kuzenbo's best efforts. And now Tyr going into 4 by himself. Needs to be careful. Needs the Lawbringer out. Will get it out. And Raw Snipe off the mark, but a successful pull for the Otters for the first time all game.
Yeah, they managed to pull it when Ra was too far away to be in range of confirming it, because I know what would have happened if Ra was in range. He would have sniped it.
Yeah, so it's going to be quite concerning here, but good news, though. Donsborough has hit 20. That means for the rest of this game, this is the biggest deficit in XP for the ADC.
Yeah, little... Excuse me, sorry there. Yeah, definitely a bit... Oh my god.
It's okay. But yeah, no, I agree though. Yeah, so the thing about Otters is they have to abuse this lead while they still have the power advantage. They still have quite the big power advantage. 3 levels in solo, 2 levels in jungle. They are Sans. I don't know how that happened. Is X-Lord Poseidon like eating all the backs or something? I don't know how you've died twice on the team with that 16-2 and you're up 3 levels.
Yeah, I mean he just must be farming, like you said, every back camp, every mid harpy. He's just, and of course he's securing every objective. That certainly helps.
4 men over here for the side of the Otters. Fight breaks out. Donzabera rockets in. Div spit for Lube. Going to be in trouble. Lawbringer does not get a chance to be used as we see Tyr's sword flying through the air. Fire Giant going to be called here. Interestingly enough, though, Donzabera did pull it, which means he does less damage. Going to walk out here, and now it's going to be on Small Face. Small Face going to be taking this Fire Giant, going to be half health. Finally going to be noticed out by the Tiny Giant. Tiny Giant looking to contest, maybe. Pops the 2 really early. Going to throw the Kappa in. Half health is the Fire Giant. It's not burning particularly fast. Tiny Giant creating a lot of space here. We're going to see X-Lord Poseidon does not confirm, and the Otters do confirm this Fire Giant. Raw Snipe just a little bit off the time, and now Tiny Giant going to have to get out here. Going to be collapsed upon by the Otters. They're known for being carnivores and eat some turtle soup tonight, Mr. Deacon.
Yeah, just pure chaos fight in the Fire Giant pit. It's the type of things we love to see. That's why we play Smite. It does go Otter's way there, but that was an absolute coin flip that if Sea Serpents managed to get that, they very easily could have turned this entire game around. They're still on the back foot, still in a not great position, but they have shown a little bit of fight, and again, potential. They just have to make sure they're all fighting together, and I think they can have a pretty good siege defense here in the upcoming minutes.
It's going to be a rough defense with just such a big deficit in the levels, gold, and just comp-wise. What we see is Stun come out, and the Rat already taking about a quarter of his health. Interesting to see this Serpents team try to defend this tier 2, but they are going to put up a solid defense so far. It looks like a soft one, though. As Dipspit for Loop, though, we know, does not know the meaning of runaway so far. And we'll look to defend. Will Fearless in is gonna look at this tower. No one's looking at it. Will use Lawbringer up, down. Attack stance does not stun anyone. He's just being ignored by this Donza as Barry Toppings finds Hachim in the back. Rat comes in. Unfortunately, eats a Donza pocket rocket for his trouble as the Kappa is now gonna get taunted in aerial. Hitting one, gonna pull him back in. Donza Barrow looking for the Tiny Giant, finds him. And Barry Topping kills Dipspit for Loop as this should just be game Deacon with one lone Raw to defend the Titan.
Again, they just fought separately. Dipspit goes in alone, isn't able to be super effective in his current position. They just kind of fall one by one as we see Raw try to put up a defense here, but this Titan's gonna fall in 25 minutes.
Otters find their shells and everything that they're looking for, up 22-2, easily take game one. As Deacon, can you explain what the Otters just did that was better than what the Serpents did?
I mean, they just fought as a unit better. I don't know if maybe they've played a little more. Again, that first game of the season, I think in the Walkers division, maybe if not, it's the second game of the Walker division. There just hasn't been a lot of time for people to like gel together so things can click yet. So if Cyberpunk Otters have been grouping a little more and playing together more, then that's probably why we saw this. That'd be my guess, at least.
Well, with that though, what do you think the Sea Serpents have to change up in their next game?
There, a couple of little decisions and placements and everything, but I think if they can manage to just find. Like, Lord Poseidon was playing very good. I'm not sure if he is the most vocal leader, but someone has to step up and be like, all right, guys, we just need to do this, even if it's not necessarily the right decision. If everyone makes a decision, it tends to go better than five people doing one thing goes better than one people doing five things.
All right, and with that, though, let's go ahead and throw it to the break as we prepare for Game 2. Will the Otters continue the Otter domination with their rootin' tootin' rodent play style, or will the Mystic Sea Serpents be able to claw their way back? As we'll see you all in about, I would say, 5 minutes for this short intermission. Good afternoon, Frank's retirement home. It is I, the Dirty Bubble, watching this. Walker set with Deacon to my left, right, and above me on the camera is Lunar B. This is a set between the Mystic Sea Serpents, Cyberpunk Otters. Otters are up 0-1 right now. Bands coming through. Deacon, where would you like to see a change in draft strategy from the Mystic Sea Serpents?
I would like to just potentially see a little bit more prioritization towards nice, easy team fights. Just get gods you're comfortable on that you know can be effective in a group scenario, and then group up.
On God, as we see Athena Chernobog coming out here. Me personally, if I want to see a little bit of change of draft strategy, it's maybe giving dip spit for lose something that's very easy pressure, and that isn't tier, to put the least, as we see Susano gonna get respect banned from the topping man.
Yeah,
Um,
not surprised to see the Susano ban. Barry did play pretty well there. And yeah, I definitely would like to see Dipspit on something other than the tier. I These auto attackers are so strong right now. As we see a Bologna ban, I'm not at all surprised to see that. She's so annoying to deal with, and the Osiris ban coupled with her, get both of them out of there. That makes sense to me.
yeah, but you do leave my goat, the big baby himself, Vomit up for the taking. But Sea Serpent's gonna have first pick here. What would you like to see them first pick, Deacon?
I think I would like to see a Ganesha.
Interestingly, uh, well, you also see, I think a bunch of good picks are up. Ganesha is very easy to execute, especially for the Walker division. But I was thinking, oh, we have now swapped sides. Does that mean we have also swapped bands? Production? No, we did not swap bands. So that means the Sea Serpents banned the Osiris and not the Otters. No, So we do need to swap bands. Okay, just checking. So then Otters do have first pick here. Vaman's up, Hachiman's up, Ganesh is up. Some very solid picks are up, and we're gonna actually see another one who did not get picked in the first round last time, but is a very good god. Cuckoo Clawn has been locked in here, Deacon.
Yeah, not at all surprised to see him. Maybe a little surprised to see him get through the picks and bans process, or the bans process, just because he's so strong right now, and he's annoying to play against. He has so much space control, he has so much damage, and he has a surprising amount of safety and mobility for a god who doesn't really have a dash or leap. As we go over to the Sea Serpent
Emoja.
side.
I'm
Little
actually surprised because I know people who play in upper divisions who can't play Yamesha's. Very mechanically demanding god, and also very like manage resources demanding Deacon. So I'm very surprised to see that pulled out here in the Walkers division. I'm not saying that they can't work or anything, but it is a very hard god to play, especially with Hachiman and like gods like Ganesh Vomit are still up.
Absolutely. Like, Umoja is, when played well, probably the strongest god in the game, like, just because of the way she works and how she breaks some of the rules of Smite that everyone else has to operate with. But, like you said, just very difficult, very mechanically commanding. If nothing else, I do think she can be effective. Just that team fight, the ult is so strong. She throws up the walls, separates people out. She can just hit her buttons nonstop when she's in there. So that's what I want to see more than anything, is just make sure those ults are placed well and used effectively.
Yeah, Alcon also gonna be locked in here. Was banned last game, but I want to talk about this Otters top three. This may be the strongest top three in Walker's history. Cuckoo. I don't care what the rest of the draft. They can pick Kepri jungle for all I care. This is a very strong, good enough to win you a set by itself top three here, Deacon.
Absolutely, and they're just, all three of them are one of the best gods in their role at the moment. They just do what they do so well and so effectively, and they work incredibly well together, and they're easy to execute, so that when when the ball starts rolling, it just doesn't stop. The Ganesha ult is up every time you blink. Hachi's doing his thing. Cuckoo Khan makes it so that you can't even walk where you want to walk in team fights. Like, that's such a strong trio to have to try to go into during a team fight.
Erlang Shen going to be picked up here. Most likely, I would say usually going to be a jungler, but definitely in this team comp. Going to be a solo laner as we see some bans come out here. Thanatos and AMC. Interesting ban from the Sea Serpents considering that Hachiman and Cuckoo are already picked. Do they believe that it could be a... Hold up. Now I'm just confused. Do they think the solo laner is going to be going a hunter or... Oh, okay. I've been told by the production that we need to switch the bands again. Yep, okay. That makes a bit more sense. I was about to say, maybe the Sea Serpents know something I don't, but it was interestingly two bands. Yeah, these bands just make a bit more sense. Thanatos Surtur on the side of the Serpents, and then I think it was AMC Marty Core on the side of the Cyberpunk Otters. Coming out of this pick here, though, what would you like to see the Serpents lock in here?
I mean, I would like to see them grab their ADC. You know who you're laning against with the Hachi and Ganesh, so you don't have any more surprises in terms of what you might have to go up against. I would like to just whoever their carry is most comfortable on, I just want them to say, lock me in this god right now.
I'd have to agree. You know, as they hover though, they're going to be hovering the is that Ravana? Now I am very confused as I think I'm hearing my production person having an internal panic attack. It's going no. I thought I'm gonna be picked here. Very good god. Can get a little bit chased down. It's a little rough to pick it without knowing either the backline as maybe the Ravana hover was a little bit too much as I have to deal with some Deacon, so go ahead.
Yeah, not at all surprised to see the Thoth locked in here. He's just so strong. He too has a lot of space control, but he does it through range. He can just hit you from further away than you can hit him. And in trying to close that distance, you're likely to take upwards of half your health bar in terms of poke. And that's before the ultimate, which can one-shot almost anybody. Not surprised to see him. And then we see the Cyberpunk Otters round out their draft with a Ravana and a Vamana. Two incredibly effective divers that especially when playing well together, like they go on you and you're just sitting there going, what do? I press my beads, I press my Aegis, I use my CC immune ult if I have one, and they still killed me because Vamana's just stomping on me and I can't do anything about him, and Ravana is backflipping away from all of my damage. Oh, and also he does more damage to me than I do to him, so that's a scary combo to see round out what was already an incredibly strong Otters draft there. And then in response, we see a hover of the Charybdis from the Sea Serpents and an official lock-in. Charybdis, maybe not the strongest ADC currently, though potentially that might have changed with some of the new builds. I'm not sure. But she does bring a good level of safety. Lots and lots of CC immunity in her kit. She can remove herself from play. She's able to hopefully keep herself safe and just provide out that damage to counter some of what is an incredibly strong dive from the Otters.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, Deacon. Sorry to leave you on a cliff there, but I had to go deal with something. But I'm gonna be honest, this Otters draft is about as good as you can get. Maybe you get a little bit of a jungle pick, but like Vaughn is arguably the best solo laner in the game right now. Cuckoo arguably the best mage mid laner. Hachiman is the best ADC. Ganesha very good. So this, I don't know. After what we saw game one, and now the Otters have an even better draft than they did game one. I just have a hard time seeing this Mystic Sea Serpents team coming back from that 18-2, I believe, shellacking.
They admittedly have not put themselves in a great position based on draft here. It's not impossible, but I do have to give the edge to Otters as we stand here.
Yeah, but I will say I do like the Serpents comp a little bit. So Erlang Shen is very interestingly someone who played tier. Erlang Shen also does not have very good clear. Can go Golden Shard to help it a bit, but he's not facing a complete lane bully in Bologna. But Vaughn not too shabby himself. I just have an issue, Deacon, with when does this Serpents comp get online, as they're all very late scaling, and except for Erlong, but Erlong doesn't exactly do well early either.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it is, you look at it and you're just like, wow, I do not want to be going up against this Mystic Sea Serpents comp at 35 minutes, 40 minutes. It's like, that is just a tough ask. That's so much damage, so much control of the things they want to do. The issue is getting to that point, and I think whether they planned it as it went along, or if it just kind of, maybe got a little lucky as the puzzle pieces fell into place. I think the Otters draft does kind of counter that, because they can just be the aggressors for that first 30-35 minutes, and Sea Serpents are really going to have to play safe and farm smart so that they can get to the point where the odds start to tilt back in their favor.
And let's not forget, this Otters comp is not too shabby at 35 minutes either. Like, yes, the Robin may struggle a little bit at the end, but Vomit, Hachiman, and Cuckoo are just very good late and at pretty much at all points in the game, especially when Vomit doesn't get lane bullied either. So, Deacon, but if you're the Serpents here, what do you have to do early to make sure you can get to that late game?
I think it's a little tough, but you just have to make sure you're confirming your own farm and putting up fights without giving up any easy golden experience to the Otters. You have to make the Otters earn every single inch that they want to take without overstepping. It's a hard line to walk, but if they manage, I do expect the Otters to just pull a bit of a lead as the game goes on. But if around the 20-minute mark we're sitting at like 2,000, maybe 2,500 gold, as opposed to what it was in game one, that's a position where Sea Serpents are like, okay, we can still fight, we can still exist, we can be around objectives to make it so that they don't just control the pit, and our comp is only going to get stronger from here.
All right, and the Otters, a little bit of a dominant game one, but game two, often you can get caught maybe in a bit of a lull. What do they have to do to combat that?
You just have to keep going forward, but not just see red. Like, especially with the comp, if they're going to be aggressive, they want to dive, they want to attack the Sea Serpents before the Sea Serpents can attack them. But you can't just pin your ears back and put your blinders on in tunnel vision. You still have to focus and communicate and be able to play as well together as they did, because that's what really got them the win.
I have to agree with you there. But onto the show here, Mr. Deacon, as I accidentally tabbed out. um, one moment. But no, I have to agree with you, Deacon. But here's my question, however. Are we to see this Ao Kuang force a lot of people to go beads, or do you think some people may ego the Ao Kuang and not go beads and let him maybe farm this early game?
I personally would expect people to get beads, especially by second row. It never hurts to be too safe, because an execute can swing a team fight that you thought you were winning, but suddenly, oh no, our solo's just completely out of the fight, and we have a full health dragon about to dunk down on us. So we don't see that quite yet, as we see three people who do not have beads, but it's a little disingenuous. Vamana's pretty safe, has CC immunity in the kit. Ravana has CC immunity in the kit. Ganesh is the only one who doesn't inherently have a way to get out of that ult, so that does provide a potential avenue for Mia to just say, hey, you are my target. I'm removing you from every team fight so that we fight a 5v4.
I have to agree with you. I also have to favor the Otters in this game, because in nature, Otters kill snakes all the time. They're venom resistant. They eat snakes, and these are Cyberpunk Otters, so they have augments too. So I mean, the Sea Serpents may be mystic, but to me, the Otters just have the clear advantage nature wise.
I have to agree. I would take a regular Otter over a regular Serpent. That equation changes as we get to some of the bigger varieties of Serpents, of course.
Yeah. Dash in here by the Ganesh. A lot of poking here, and here's the thing, Deacon. It's a little rough to poke out a Yamoja comp because they just heal it right back. But we see just utter aggression coming out here. Hot dash in, getting huge stun by Yamoja, does not do enough to survive. But Busta Kappa dies in mid, so 1-for-1. But first blood going to the side of the Cyberpunk Otters.
Yeah, it is managed to be a 1-for-1, but unfortunately, Otters got theirs in just a split second faster. I really thought the Sea Serpents were gonna be able to get out of there. I thought the Yamoja stun catching both of them was gonna be clutch, but those Hachi autos, they just managed to get him before he got out of range. So picks up the first blood there, and then Poseidon played strong in game 1, starting game 2 off strong with the kill over there in mid lane. So potentially he wants to be more proactive than he was in game 2 and get his game going earlier.
A bit of an ambitious gank here by the Alquang, not known for his level 3 ganks. Still going to rely here. Shield buff does go to the way of the Otters, but we see in solo lane, Dipspit for Lube, again, not having the most fun in the world. Picked another god who doesn't really have the best pressure in the world. Gonna pay for it quite dearly. Gonna get ran at here. Doesn't get the Mink out in time. Gonna have to early back, Deacon.
Yeah, he does. He has a little bit of lifestealing kit. He has the Death's Toll, so hopefully if he just plays smart, he should be able to prevent himself from being so poked out as we go forward now. But definitely rough to see the early back and have to come in, as he actually hasn't. He's still hanging around there at 10%.
He's still there?
Yeah.
Risking life and limb here for this wave. Gonna get 2'd if he's not careful. Will be able to walk out. Oh no! Dipspit, please just run! As he gets killed again. 0-11 so far on this set for Dipspit and Lube, as we see Alquan going for an early invade. Not really the best god to be doing this on. We'll try to out-confirm the Hachiman is not able to, and now needs to get out. He's quite in trouble. Half health will dash out. Purple buff go to the side of the Otters, as Alquang looking to get very aggressive early.
Yeah, I like the thought and I like the initiative, but especially in this game with an Alquang in your comp, I just want to see you farm at least until level 5. You could try to get a little more active once that potential execute easy kill is online, but until then, I really wouldn't expect this. I don't want to see this Alquang gank much. I just want to see them prioritize the farm, get their items, so that they can get that kill online.
As we see Robin already 5, Alquang a little bit behind in the farm gang. Does not have the ball knowledge. But we see these mid camps are gonna be up. Alquang gonna hit 5 off this back camp most likely. And 2-1 already. Which if you're this Alquang when you hit 5, which lane are you running to? But hold that. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Which lane am I running to? I know I said the target might be on Ganesh because they don't have beads, but if I'm looking at the map and I'm saying who do I think would be most beneficial of a gank, because we see a lot of ultimates.
Yeah, I was going to say, Yamoja Wall's not really blocking anything off, probably used just for the Omi regen, and does save her life and almost gets a kill out of it. We saw Alquan gank this Vomit, but he's able to walk out pretty easily. Blue buff does get confirmed by Smallface, but a bunch of aggression coming out from both teams. But Yamoja walking to a neighborhood that she does not belong in, gonna get stunned here, blinking by the Robin, gonna try to kill. Huge Riptide, but not enough for the enhanced auto of Jacob Frosty Cones. Gonna get the kill onto the Yamoja.
Yeah, you just can't step forward there. You know that you didn't know that the Robin was there, admittedly, but you know that the other two are there. They have more HP, more health, and
huge Ganesh one, but gonna cost the energy again. But I take that trade all the time as long as my Hachiman can get out. Dive onto, gonna hit the slow, misses the 3, however. This could be bad. Dash does get him out, and a little bit of a drop kill from Mia there, but a good play to get the Ganesh on the execute.
Yeah, a little unfortunate there, but like you said, you got 1 kill, and like I said, it's just a nice, easy execute. The Ganesh is low health. He has no way to get away from it. Get that kill every time.
Needs to be careful. We're going to get spotted out by the Robin. Toppings can take this fight whenever he wants. Gonna hit the slow on Mia. Mia gets rooted. Mia can blink out whenever she needs to, does. I do want to point out a build quirk here. Most Alquangs I see go to the tier 2 orb, but this one's going to opt for... I don't know what item. What item do you think this Alquang is going to go for?
I'm not quite sure there. maybe a Chronos pendant, try to get some early penetration online as the game goes on. But yeah, I agree with you. You generally see people either go the tier 2 orb route and then maybe sell it later or finish it, or sometimes if they're just like, I don't want to gank for 20 minutes, I'm building Book of Thoth. But even
Not, yeah, Deacon, Book of Thoth is an early game item now, haven't you heard?
well, yeah, but maybe not for Alquang still though.
Yeah, I've seen the Deso start. I've seen a bunch of I don't think I think this is gonna be Tahuti, if I had to guess. Uh,
That's the item I would want it to be. Admittedly, I do think Tahuti's just always good, and it can benefit Okwang pretty well. A little early in the build for it though, and it's very expensive first item if that's what it is.
Charybdis gonna do not take a bunch of damage here. But we see 42 already, but 2k gold up are the Otters already, as we see some aggression coming out in solo lane. Erling Shen gonna need to be careful, gonna get slowed, gets rooted, does not have his dash apparently, will just die, dip spit for loop, and then Tiger Girl gets soloed under his tower. This is quite big, very big unfortunate for the Sea Serpents.
Definitely a little unfortunate there. Tiger Gear getting dove under the tower. You were at least under your tower. You're trying to play smart, play safe. Used the whirlpool first. If she would have gone around the back of the wall there and came in and been able to save it, probably survives there. Unfortunately, Dipspit just stepping too far forward. He knows no fear, and I respect that. But you got to play a little more cautious than that when you're low HP over there.
I have to agree with you, but if you're the Sea Serpents, you're already letting this lead swell up to 2.5k. Ganesh Dash gonna be off the mark. Just a lot of poking coming out mid, but not a lot of kill threat here, Deacon.
No, and it's a Thoth. Of course he wants to poke. That's all he wants to do. He wants to poke, 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 and then you're in this position where it's like, oh, I'm 40% HP. If we do any sort of engagement, my life's in danger. We see Alquang get jumped on by the Robin.
Yamosha gonna catch the Robin. Robin does have ult if he needs to get out, but does not sense any fear. Ganesh Dark Pillars off the mark. Gonna barely. I think the tornado tick gets Mia, and Ganesh is still alive. Ganesh gets rooted, but he's still alive as Poseidon does return a kill. But again, I'll take that trade all day. My Ganesh don't care. Barry Toppings though, gonna look for this fight. Still gonna up down Mystic Rush on top of Poseidon. Poseidon gets the shell. Gonna keep him alive for now. Cuckoo looking for the kill. Poseidon will not be able to get it, and now out of position is this Cyberpunk Otters, but no rotations coming out for the side of the Sea Serpents will let both the jungler and the mid laner walk out here.
Yeah, just a little unfortunate. A very aggressive start there from Barry going in on Mia, and then they do manage to pick up that kill, but Cuckoo in a bad spot.
He's going the wrong way if he needs to run away. Blink in from the Alquan. Gonna hit the slow, huge slow. Gonna get... Busta Kappa does die. Nice slow from Mia confirming the kill, and now in solo lane we see this Vomit just utterly bullying, but if he can't hit his autos it won't matter, and we see buff towers. That's too many tower shots.
That was a lot of tower shots, although he's already got 2 items online. He's so tanky already.
Oh, Midgardian's rush on the second item is quite interesting. What does Midgardian do?
Well, as you can see, when enemies hit you, they move slower and attack slower, and what does Erlong want to do? Oh, he wants to walk at you. Oh, he wants to auto-attack you. Oh, he can't do either of those things.
Oh, nice stun from Charybdis, but it won't be enough as Jacob Frosty kind of has just been left here just to eat this Charybdis the entire game. Not really a lot of reactions from the Serpents to come and deal with this, but granted, they're kind of getting the hands everywhere.
Yeah, Mia has to pick one side lane. At this point, Poseidon's, again, establishing a bit of a lead there. He's playing strong. You kind of just have to leave him do his thing and hope he continues to the next 10 minutes as well as he's played the first 10 minutes. But Mia has to pick one of these side lanes and try to stabilize it somehow. I think the solo lane would be the easier one because the level gap's only 2 there. But you have to turn this from a 1 lane advantage to at least one lane advantage, one lane equal, if not outright turn it in your favor somehow.
I have to agree, but this ADC lane is just probably a bit too far gone. A 5-level lead on the side as we see Dark Pillars actually broken out. Mia caught in no man's land will get absolutely mugged by the Spirit of the Nine Winds there. Kind of a rough kill if you're the Mystic Sea Serpents to give up.
Little bit there. Mia just caught a little bit out of position. Ganesh hugs her, and Cuckoo just puts her down. A combo that I would expect to see a lot more.
Here, Yamosha is going to use ult. Mystic Rush does confirm, but Tiger Girl will just get caught by a tornado, and now things go from bad to worse for the Sea Serpents, losing the Gold Fury and Tiger Girl going down again. Good news though, if the Hachiman gets the kill, does not get any XP for it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate there. Otters are able to get the Gold Fury, and then it just keeps getting worse. At this point, I would like to see Tiger just farm, just try to farm up. Maybe find a lane if you can keep this wave up by your tower so that you can stay there, or just go with the Yamoja and just get some farm under your belt. At this point, you need items desperately. As we see Small Face again, just
hit your autos. No, mink out. He's minking out. He's absolutely minked. Oh, he didn't hit him. No. That was a huge kill if you got it.
Unfortunate there, Dipspit. Just wasn't able to get credit.
Does connect with one, but Mia in trouble here, getting caught by this Ganesh again. And remember how I said in 12 minutes 6K was like no man's land last game? Well, now it's 8K in 12 minutes. So, you know, kind of a bit... Things have gone from bad to worse for this Sea Serpents in Game 2, and Game 1 didn't look terribly great either.
No, just a rough start, and they're not playing very well together. We've seen Otters several times have better grouping, the numbers advantage when they're already ahead, which when the other team has more players in the area than you and they're ahead, oof, that is a rough situation. But they're just not farming smartly. They're stepping up a little too far forward. They're getting themselves a little caught out, a little poked out. They just need to be able to get gold and experience without costing HP.
Titus the Reaper, half health. Could be a good kill if they can find any like CC on him. Root, huge. Titus, a quarter health. Would not use anything of resource though to get him, but he's walking back up. Needs to be careful. Silences for the prots, I assume, or just to peel off the Yamosha there. But Titus needs to be careful, but we're just looking at these deficits, and this is just very hard to come back from. Just looking at the items here, like we see multiple item advantages on the side of the Otters.
Yeah, that almost everyone has an item advantage on the side of the Otters, but what really makes it difficult for me is if you look at Ganesh, he's level 12. If you look at the Sea Serpents, 3 players are below him, and now he's level 13, so 4 players are below him, and Poseidon's the only one who's even with him. And when you're...
Needs to be careful. He dashed in, gonna take a lot of damage, gonna use his taunt to good. Tiger Girl dies in left lane, however. Vaughn going in the back, gonna try to get this kill. Erlon creating enough space, but Smallface finds Sashin, and Erlon cannot survive too long, and that's a 3 for none on the side of the Otters, as they look to maybe pull this Pyromancer.
Yeah, Dipspit just goes in alone there, and Smallface can do that. He's the Fed solo laner, and he has the ult that just lets him fear no tower, do a lot of damage. You can't CC me, you can't do anything about me. Dipspit has the ult that says, oh, you have to attack me and do more damage to me when I'm not in the strongest position. So, unfortunately there, he just goes in alone and gets caught out, whereas Smallface goes in alone and is able to just kind of do the things that Vamana does best.
Yeah, can't really, block off of Vaughn with Yamosha walls, but does have one of the better peeling ways to get Vaughn to peel Vaughn, which is the Riptides, but doesn't look like she was able to do that there, and just got curb stomped for her trouble.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, I understand, especially when you have so many potential buttons, and there's just a
Ooh! That's a huge kill for the side of the Sea Serpents. Mia getting a kill. It appears to be an execute as this Vomit, I don't believe, opted for beads. So couldn't be a target for late in this game. Now Titus is going to be the one. Look, that pin is good. Mia doesn't know where to go. Dharmic pillars have been used. Going to try to kill Titus. Titus in trouble, but Robin going to come in and try to peel out the elephant. Elephant gun coming in. Huge damage from this Ravana doing onto the Kwang. Kwang just dying instantly. Berry Toppings deleting Mia off the face of the earth. This Ganesha, good news, still more than half health. Erlong just whacking him, but won't be able to do much. Dash in onto Dispit for lead, but this should just be a retreat call as they've already gotten one more kill than they should have.
Exactly. Again, great job picking up the kill onto Smallface. Massive shutdown, huge for Mia to get there. And then unfortunately, they got a little too eager. They're like, let's get the Ganesha too. Should have just fallen back, take your winning, and then try to, at the next one, take another small victory.
Well, here comes the Oni Fury, and that's the thing. X-Lord Poseidon could steal if he's in range. Fury of the 9 wins, going to use his Charybdis ult expended to try to steal. We'll have to use the 3 to out, but that means she has nothing else to run away from this Vomit. Vomit on top of her will just get the kill. And now the Otters look to maybe chase out here, maybe disagreeing a bit as now the backline backs and now they retreat. If we just look at the player damage chart, I think there's one outlier here, Deacon. Can you tell me which one it is?
I think it might be the guy who's almost the next 2 people combined. I think that might be who you're talking about.
Yeah, as we see, Dipspit for loop. I have to respect him. He's gone 0-17. He said, but he's not afraid to take the ones.
No, he knows no fear.
He's actually winning a little bit. See, look, he's actually despite being 3 levels down, is not doing terrible. Now we'll have to be forced to run away as Vomit ticks up in the middle of that fight. Probably is not in a threat to die, especially if Vomit misses the 3 and the knockup. Dipspit for loop gonna have to turn around and pin and walk away here. Just a little bit of a funny trade session from the Soul Liners.
A little bit there, and it's one of those things. I understand wanting to take those 1v1s, especially as a solo laner. That's all they get to do in the game, or so they tell me. But you have to be a little more level-headed and cautious in the early game so that you can get to the point where if it's a closer gap or even there, Dipspit wins that. 100%. He was relatively even as we see Jacob pick up another kill over here in the duo lane and the tower for good measure.
Jacob just gets to do whatever he wants. It's kind of sad.
Stretch that gold lead up to over 11,000, almost 12.
Fire Giant gonna be pulled here without their ADC, but it appears the Sea Serpents none the wiser. This should be relatively free. Erlong Shen doesn't even notice as he does his blue buff, and Fire Giant gonna come out. Little bit of a late Spear of the 9 wins there. Doesn't matter, however, as the Otters do get the Fire Giant at 18 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, again, even without the Hachi man over there, that they just had the burn, the Ganesha ult, the Cuckoo
huge
damage.
CC, nice Yamoja ult to block some in, but Berry Toppings able to find Mia still. This siege is going to be good for the Otters as they have a pick, and it appears the Sea Serpents want to defend towers as Vomit goes stomping away, has to walk out, however, but Busta Kappa caps the Yamoja in the back, but Poseidon finds Berry Toppings. That's one pick for the side of the Sea Serpents. Pin there, double stunt onto Jacob. Frosty comes, but able to dash out. 2 towers for the way of the Otters, but they do lose Toppings, but that should be still good as they were able to pick up the Pyro as well.
Yeah, and now they got the tower, they got the fire, they got the Pyro. It did cost them Berry, but now they have a lot of gold to come back and finish off some of these T3 items. We see Cuckoo pick up the Soul Reaver. We see Hachi get T2 of what is going to be a Deathbringer, and if you think Hachi's having fun and doing whatever he wants to do now, just wait until he gets that Deathbringer glyph. Oh my.
Alright, this is my biggest pet peeve ever. I don't know who told people this. It's the multiple times I've seen this. Why are we going Rage 4th? Stop it. Please go something.
That's the one that still stacks with kills. You don't get... They're not just like, yeah, you've done a lot of damage. Here, have a stack.
Please stop going Rage 4th, people. If you're gonna go it earlier. I suggest just don't go it in ADC, but stop going Rage 4th. Now, he's up by like 30 levels, so it doesn't matter, right? But Just for future reference, don't do that.
Right,
I'm just
like
tired of my rank games being threaded by Ditch Pit for Loop's gonna look to defend this. Gonna get knocked up by the bomb. Bomb does not take out the tower, but Hachiman will. This is not a fight you want if you're Mia, but Mia dashes in, does not get punished. However, have to wonder if the Otters just turn on the Ao Kuang there. If Ao Kuang just dies for his troubles.
he probably does. So a little lucky to get out of there as we
Ao
see him
Kuang
try to
in
circle
the
around.
back. This could be a good fight for the Serpents.
Sneaky
There is
little
no
dragon
Robin.
boy.
If he can execute this Ganesha pretty easily, this could be huge. Instead, Ditchman for Lip gets absolutely obliterated by Jacob Frosty Cones. And that has to be a feel bad moment for the Erlong Shin. The emotional ult is going to be used to block autos, but doesn't matter. Damage is done. Smallface already found the Charybdis as his Phoenix looks to be next. Cuckoo is one, however. Jacob Frosty Cones going to be used to try zoning Cuckoo ult to say the least, but Phoenix does go down. Meanwhile, Vomit is just in the enemy's base killing people, and not a lot can be done about it as Jacob Frosty Cones actually gets picked off. Huge shutdown by X-Lord Poseidon as this fight has been more split than a hair as we see Smallface going to have to walk out here. And now the fight is finally over, Deacon.
Yeah, I mean, the execution was just a little off. Again, the communication from Mystic Sea Serpents, they're doing some of the right things, but sometimes the damage follow-up isn't there. Sometimes it's just, instead of doing the things together, it was one, then the other. Ao Kuang comes up from behind, tries to start the fight, takes a lot of damage, has to run away. Then Dipspit comes up, taunts, takes a lot of damage, dies. If they do that together and a little closer so that Poseidon can rain in a bunch of damage, I think that siege defense goes a lot better for them. And then again, like you said, Vamana just doing whatever he wants. He's just getting big, stomping on people, and they don't have an answer for him as I don't see, no Sunder on the part of Mystic Sea Serpents, which that's the one relic I desperately want if I have to go against a Vamana. He ults, you Sunder him, it's the only way we can kill him.
Yeah, I think the Sunder feels pretty bad right now. I think you just have to turn on him with your backline for the most part, which is tough to do when he's like, level 20 and just running your pockets. But
it is rough when a lot of these other relics are so much better. Horrific is absolutely insane. Horrific's really good right now
because it has that Ankh effect, which also affects shields. True. The main Vomit.
I guess I just think, that's my thing. I just underestimated Horrific. I forgot just how strong it was.
Nice emotional. Gonna prevent this fight from carrying out for too long. Nice pushback too. Ao Kuang to look for the execute. Phoenix is still up. Meanwhile, Vomit still stomping away. Doesn't find anyone and is now in trouble. Gonna get not dived on. Gonna be able to dash out here, but a successful defense and maybe the first successful anything from the Sea Serpents all set. Go the way of the Sea Serpents.
Yeah, they just, like I said, they finally fought together as a group. We saw the Charybdis stun, and then Mio went in and executed a low-health target. And then Smallface went in alone, and they all turned on him, and they weren't quite able to get the kill, but they almost did, and he wasn't able to get any kills on them. So, at that point in time, your Ganesh is dead, your Vamana is 10% HP at best and has no ult. There's no choice anymore. This siege is over. Time to go home.
Yeah, I have to feel bad though for Mia though. She's so behind and she's going such an expensive build. She already has 2 glyphs and demonic grip. A very expensive build, especially when you're 3 levels down. That's why she only has 3 items in 24 minutes.
Is a little unfortunate. Definitely an expensive build, and while I understand wanting to get glyphs because you can get multiple glyphs. You can get 5 if you want, 6 if you don't want a starter. They're still late game items. That's 1,200 gold that could be. That's a T2 item, and depending on what you have sitting in your pocket, that might be a T3.
That's like tier 2 Doom Orb. That's and that's a good. As Fire Giant does go the way of the Otters, not really contested, but now in trouble is the Erlong Shen. Erlong Shen in the middle of 4, gonna have to mink out, but now Charybdis may pay for the sins of the Erlong. Erlong gonna be able to walk out, but Charybdis not so lucky. Yamoja has no Omi, and Busta Kappa literally sniped Dipspit for loot, and now Yamoja wasting Omi to not Riptide may cost her in the end. Has only 2 Omi left, gonna use the Riptide to try to get out, and that should just be game here, Deacon.
Yeah, it should, as they kill the Phoenix just as it spawns. Phoenix was not long for this world, lived about 2 seconds. They
Titan
all march in
burning
as 5.
very fast. Colossal Fury going to be used, and Mia gets absolutely obliterated as Otters devour the Sea Serpents 2-0, 28-8 in a very dominating performance here in the Frank's retirement out.
Yeah, just very one-sided there. Not that Sea Serpents didn't show any potential, any signs of things that it's like they can point to if they watch this back and be like, this is what we did well. We need to do more of this. But Cyberpunk Otters, they just got the snowball rolling and never let it stop.
Yeah, and if you're the Otters, you're very confident in this gameplay. You know, you just run out, and I'm gonna be honest, you kind of clap some cheeks. You know, if you're the Sea Serpents, though, what do you take away from this game to maybe get better to move forward?
I think one thing that is for sure was Poseidon played very well both games. He seems to be the pillar that this team should try to center around. I don't know if that means they want to dedicate to ganking mid lane, try to get him ahead, and then see if he can rotate out, or if they're just like, you are able to hold your own, so we have to dedicate making sure one of our other lanes is ahead so that when we group up, we're at a nice even state. That would be my takeaway from this first set, but mainly, I feel like I've said it 100 times. They're probably tired of hearing about it. Just communication issues. They just got to get on the same page. Could get easier and better as the season goes forward, as you just get more used to playing with each other.
I have to agree with you, but with that though, let's go ahead and wrap up this cast. Remember, tune in tomorrow, I believe Sunday at 5 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have a chain set between the Mystic Sea Serpents and the Killer Kappas being casted by Mr. Nacho and T-Pity on themselves at 5 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. This will be a live cast, so those are always very excited, Deacon. Do you have any last words of wisdom to part with our community here before we get offline?
No words of wisdom never coming out of my mouth, that's for sure. But no, I hope everyone had a good time. It was fun to be here. Looking forward to seeing the cast tomorrow.
All right, let's roll.